Hey, hi everyone, this is Sudhir Singh and welcome to my channel Mr. Adamant. So, this is the fourth class NABARD and PSL in the Banking and Financial Awareness series. So, let's start the class. So, in this class, we will first discuss about priority sector lending PSL. So, PSL is a concept which is started by RBI for the overall development of the every sector. Initially, the banks are more focused on the financial sector only, but RBI saw these sectors are not developing properly, these eight sectors. So RBI started PSL targets so that bank stay more focused on these eight sectors also. So those eight sectors are agriculture, MSME, export, education, housing, social infrastructure, renewable energy, and others. We will discuss about all these sectors and target inside all these sectors. So we will discuss first PSL targets. So for RRBs, there are total seven sectors only. Export sector is not included for RRB. Hence, 75% of the ANBC is required for seven priority sectors for RRB. So, what is ANBC? ANBC is basically adjusted net bank credit. So, adjusted net bank credit is the total loan given by the bank in financial year. So, ANBC is basically the total loan given by a particular bank in financial year. So, for RRB, the target is 75% for the seven priority sectors. And in this, agriculture, small and medium farmers and advances to weaker section. These target will be in the phase manner. For RRB's advances to weaker section is not in phase manner, it is fixed to 15% of ANBC. Now I have given the chart of every sector and the total priority sector lending target for various types of bank. So for domestic commercial banks, excluding RRB, SFB, and foreign banks with 20 branches and above. So for these banks, total PSL target is 40% of ANBC, agriculture target is 18% of ANBC, micro enterprise 7.5% of ANBC, and advances to weaker section is 12% of ANBC. For foreign banks with less than 20 branches, so in this, total PSL is 40% of ANBC, out of which maximum 32% given to export sector and minimum 8% to seven other priority sectors. And other three targets are not available. Next is Regional Rural Bank RRBs. For RRBs, total PSL, as I already said, it is 75% of ANBC, agriculture 18% of ANBC, micro enterprise 7.5% of ANBC, and advances to weaker section it is 15% of ANBC. For SFBs, small finance banks, total PSL is 75% of ANBC, agriculture is 18% of ANBC, for micro enterprise it is 7.5% of ANBC, and advances to vehicle section is 12% of ANBC. Now I have listed down the phase manner target also, as I already said, for small and marginal farmers and vehicle section target will be in the phase manner. So small and marginal farmers target comes under agriculture 18%. So for 2021, the target is should be 8%. For 21 to 22, it should be 9%. 22 to 23, it should be 9.5%, and 23 to 24, it should be 10% out of 18% of agriculture. For vehicle section target for financial year wise, it is 10%, 11%, 11.5%, and 12%. Now for primary urban cooperative bank, the total PSL target is 75% of ANBC, but it will be in phase manner. So for till March 31, 2020, it should be 40% of ANBC. Till March 31st, 2021, it should be 45% of ANBC. Till 22, it is 50% of ANBC. Till 23, it should be 60% of ANBC, and till 2024, it should complete 75% of ANBC target. For micro enterprise, it is 7.5% of the ANBC, and advances to weaker section, it is 12% of ANBC. This is the target for primary urban cooperative banks. Now we will come to MSME, micro, small, medium enterprise. It is divided into micro, small, and medium enterprise based on the investment and annual turnover. So for micro enterprise, if investment is not more than 1 crore and annual turnover is not more than 5 crore, then it is under micro enterprise. If investment is not more than 10 crore and turnover is not more than 50 crore, it counts in small enterprise. If investment is not more than 50 crore and annual turnover is not more than 250 crore, then it counts in medium enterprise. You can remember it like as 1 and 5 crore, 10 and 50 crore, and 50 and 250 crore. Then the classification of small and marginal farmers. If the farmers having land holding of up to 1 hectares, it is called as the marginal farmers. If the farmers with land holding of more than 1 hectare and up to 2 hectare, it counts in small farmers. Then agriculture sector. So any lending given to agriculture sector means farmer giving credit to farmers for agriculture and allied activities, and for lending for agriculture and agriculture infrastructure and ancillary activities counts in agriculture PSL target. So agriculture and allied activities means dairy, fishery, animal husbandry, poultry, beekeeping, sericulture all count in allied activities. So if the loan giving to these allied activities, it also counts in agriculture PSL target. Then agriculture, infrastructure and ancillary activities are like giving loans for storage facilities like market yards, godowns, and cold storage units and cold storage for storing the grains. And loan giving for setting up of agri clinics and agri business centers. So this counts in PSL agriculture target. Then MSME target. So all loans to the khadi and village industry sector counts in the MSME target, and loans up to 50 crore to startups also comes under the MSME target for PSL. Then education PSL target. So any loan up to 20 lakh for educational purpose, including the vocational courses, comes under the PSL target of education. Next is for housing. So loans up to individual up to 35 lakh in metropolitan cities and 25 lakh to other center. But the overall cost of metropolitan center should not exceed 45 lakh, and overall cost of other center should not exceed 30 lakh rupees, comes under the PSL housing loan. Now, what are metropolitan centers? Metropolitan centers are the center with 10 lakh and above population. Next is housing loan given to bank's own employee will not eligible for the classification under priority sector. So suppose you are the employee of State Bank of India and you are taking housing loan from State Bank of India, then it does not come under the PSL target of housing. Next is loans up to 10 lakh rupees in metropolitan centers and up to 6 lakh rupees in other centers for repair of the damaged housing unit, comes under the PSL target of housing. Next is social infrastructure. So bank loan up to limit of 5 crore rupees for setting up school, drinking water facilities, sanitation facilities, construction of household toilet and water improvement at household level consider under the PSL. And loan up to 10 crore for building healthcare facilities under Ayushman Bharat in tier 2 to tier 4 centers consider under social infrastructure PSL target. Next is what are tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 6 cities. These cities are divided based on the population. So for tier 1 cities, the population should be 1 lakh and above. For tier 2 center, population is 50,000 to less than 1 lakh. For tier 3, population is 20,000 to less than 50,000. Tier 4 10,000 to less than 20,000, Tier 5 5,000 to less than 10,000, and Tier 6 population should be less than 5,000. Next is renewable energy. So bank loans up to rupees 30 crore to borrower for solar based power generation setup, biomass based power generators, windmills, micro hydel plants, and for street lighting system and remote village electrification comes under the renewable energy PSL target. And for individual household loan up to 10 lakh rupees per borrower considered under the PSL. Now we will discuss about the two groups, self-help group and joint liability group. So first we will discuss about the self-help group. So self-help group is basically a village based financial group which is composed of the 10 to 20 local women or men. So in this group, mixed group is generally not preferred. Generally, the group of 10 to 20 of women or 10 to 20 of men is preferred. So the basic work of this group members is like making a small regular saving contribution over a period of time so that there is enough money in group to begin lending. So after once the money is gathered, so this money is lended back to the group members so that group members can carry out their individual business or individual tasks. Next is joint liability group. So joint liability group is basically a group of 4 to 10 people. This group is basically formed for the purpose of availing loan from the bank without any collateral. So this group, JLG or Joint Liability Group, is established in India in 2014, and this group concept is given by the NABARD, National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development, to provide credits to small farmers. So inside this group JLG, the bank will provide the financing in two ways. That is giving finance directly to the group members or directly to groups. But in both cases, all the members of JLG is responsible for paying the loan amount. Now, what is the basic difference between SHG and JLG? SHG is basically a saving oriented group in which the borrower first save the money and then they will take the money as the loan. But JLG is basically a credit oriented group, means it will directly take credit or loan from the bank. Now, what is distressed farmer? Distressed farmer is one who has suffered repeated income psychological shocks due to the failure of the investment, whether crop production or the markets, and who has crippled his ability to meet his financial and other family obligation and feels humiliated by the castigation of the lenders, and in the absence of coping mechanism takes the extreme step of voluntarily ending his life. So this type of farmer is called as the distress farmer. Then others, PSL targets. So what targets comes under the others? So loans not exceeding rupees 1 lakh per borrower directly given by banks to individual or individual member of SHG or JLG. But the criteria is the borrower's annual income in rural areas does not exceed 1 lakh rupees, and for non-rural areas it does not exceed 1.6 lakh rupees. Comes under the others PSL target. And loans not exceeding 2 lakh rupees provided by bank to SHG JLG for activities other than agriculture or MSME comes under the target of others category. Now loans to distressed person, not distressed farmers, only distressed person, but it is not exceeding 1 lakh rupees comes under the others PSL target. Loans up to rupees 50 crore to startup, but that is startup are engaged in the activities other than the agriculture or MSME sector, then it counts under the PSL target of others category. Now, penalty for not achieving the priority sector lending target. So, if any bank does not achieve the target of the priority sector lending, then the shortfall amount of the PSL they have to give to RIDF. RIDF, which is under NABARD. RIDF means Rural Infrastructure Development Fund, which NABARD use for rural infrastructure development. Now, one component we have priority sector lending certificate. So, priority sector lending certificate is used by the bank to achieve the priority sector lending target and sub target if they are in shortfall in that particular category or all category. For example, if PNB does not complete the target of PSL and SBI is in surplus as per the PSL target, then PNB can purchase the priority sector lending certificate from SBI. Now, what are the types of the PSLC? So we have PSLC agriculture certificate for agriculture target, PSLC is small farmer and medium farmer certificates, PSLC micro enterprise certificate for MSME target, PSLC general certificate for overall priority sector target. Now, important points about PSLC, like PSLC is valid till March 31st and will expire on April 1st. All the data about the PSLC and trade summary of the PSLC will be available on eKuber portal. And the solding of the PSLC and purchasing of the PSLC, all these data bank have to report on the quarterly basis, and it should have uh, and it should report on annual priority sector returns. Now next topic is NABARD, National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development. So NABARD was established on 12th of July 1982. It was set up based on the recommendation of CREFI Card Committee, which is set up by RBI under the chairmanship of B. Sivaraman. So CREFI Card full form is Committee to Review Arrangements for Institutional Credit for Agriculture and Rural Development. Headquarter of NABARD is in Mumbai. Now, NABARD was initially set up with capital of 100 crore and authorized capital is 5,000 crore. NABARD is fully owned by Government of India. But NABARD have seven subsidiary which helps NABARD to carry out its activities. So first subsidiary is NABCONS. NABCONS is NABARD Consultancy Services, is engaged in providing consultancy for in the sector of agriculture and rural development and other allied areas. Next is NABARD NAB Ventures Limited. It is a NABARD alternative investment arm. Next is NABFINS. NABFINS is the NBFC registered under RBI. Next is ABFL or NAB Samruddhi. It is uh, it is incorporated under Companies Act 1956 on 17th February 1997 and it is registered as NBFC with RBI. Next is NAB Kisan. NAB Kisan is started with the Companies Act 1956 on 4th February 1997. The next two subsidiaries are NAB Foundation and NAB Sanrakshan. So this is the whole class of NABARD and PSL. So if any doubt in this class, you can ask me on Mr. Adamant YouTube channel or this video's comment section. If not, you can ask me on Instagram also. My ID is sudhir.singh07. So you can ask on Instagram also. And please ask the question related to this NABARD and PSL chapter only. So thank you for watching this video.